Tonight on Newsbeat, hear how LSU students from Houston are recovering after Hurricane Harvey.
Meteorologists are watching Category 5 Hurricane Irma and advise mass evacuations in Florida.
And an LSU professor who specializes in hurricane studies explain why we are expecting such an intense hurricane season this year.
All that and more, Newsbeat starts now.
Good evening, Tigers, and welcome to Newsbeat. I'm Trey Cuvion.
And I'm Raquel Morris.
Hurricane Harvey's impact on Houston and surrounding areas continue to be devastating. Many LSU students who are from Houston are struggling to stay focused on school, even as their families begin the slow process of rebuilding. Tiger TV's Rashonda Gardner has more.
Texas makes up the largest percentage of out-of-state students at LSU. Some Texas students originate from Houston, which was heavily damaged by the recent Hurricane Harvey. Deja Hall, a member of LSU's Color Guard and a Houston native, shared how the hurricane impacted her and her family.
Thankfully, none of my immediate family was affected, besides minor damage to my mom's car. But it was really unsettling to see friends and other family members having to be rescued from their homes by boats and things like that.
Hall is one of many Texas natives to be here in Louisiana while her family faced floods from the hurricane.
It was just really unsettling to be all the way in Louisiana and not be able to help or volunteer or do anything, especially when I know people whose houses were completely underwater.
Although Deja was not personally affected, many families lost their cars, homes, and some even lost their lives. Some students struggled to keep focused on school while a disaster was occurring back at home.
Knowing that your family is stuck and there's nothing you can do, they're on your mind. It's a big distraction when you're trying to focus on school and just starting school.
President Alexander has reached out to those students who were affected by the flood. LSU has multiple resources to help those who are affected and are in need of assistance. This has been Rashonda Garner with Tiger TV.
Right now, weather officials are tracking 3 hurricanes. Irma and Jose are spinning in the Atlantic, and Katia in the Gulf of Mexico.
Hurricane Irma is traveling with Category 5 strength. This storm is the most dangerous storm recorded in history to travel along the Atlantic Ocean. After making landfall on a number of islands, sources say the storm has already killed up to 10 people and has even destroyed up to 90% of buildings in some areas. The storm is predicted to make a direct hit in Florida, and many mass evacuation orders are in place already. This has been one of the most intense hurricane seasons in history. With 4 massive tropical storms in the last 2 weeks, many are beginning to wonder why this hurricane season has been so severe. Professor and climatologist Dr. Jill Trepanier has insight on the strange weather phenomena. Reporter Abby Roca has more.
The National Hurricane Center says chances have grown for a direct hit on Florida.
As Hurricane Irma gets closer to land, Floridians are bracing themselves for catastrophic impact.
I don't want to think about it. I mean, that's my life. It's where I grew up. Everything I've ever known is there. Every memory I've ever had was there. I lived there my entire life until I came here to school. And I don't know, because I have so many people there that I care about and so many places that I've been, experiences that I've had. It's devastating.
With record-breaking winds and massive size, Hurricane Irma is arguably the most dangerous hurricane to ever come through the Atlantic.
It's a Category 5 hurricane, which is, we don't see many. It is a bad storm. So I said to my friends, you don't stand up against Mother Nature on this one. You turn and you run from her, because this is a storm that is not messing around. It is, for all intents and purposes, the perfect hurricane. Perfectly symmetric, strong as all could be, right? And it's gusting at tornado level. So its gusts are 230 miles per hour, which is a tornado. So it's sustained at 185 mile per hour winds, which is well above a Category 5 hurricane.
Irma is one of 4 major storm systems that circulate during this hurricane season, which isn't expected to calm down anytime soon.
So I would be willing to bet that the season's not over. It's not going to end with Katia. We're going to have more because we still have all of September and all of October. And September is the highest month of occurrence for us in the Gulf, followed by October, because in October, all of this is so hot still that we get storms that just form right down here, come right up into the Gulf.
As for now, most of Florida is preparing for mass evacuation, and locals are being urged to either prepare now or get out quickly.
In my personal expert opinion, you don't mess with a Category 5. You just get out of the way.
Abby Rocha, Tiger TV.
Next year's hurricane season is expected to be even more intense and start even earlier. After the break, hear how LSU has taken off with a strong start this semester, welcoming students and new dining options. Most high school seniors look forward to one thing after graduation: college. On August 21st, LSU welcomed around 5,500 freshmen on campus. You could find them easily getting lost or asking for directions on your way to class. But despite the difficulty of navigating this huge campus, some freshmen like Brooke Como are glad they chose this school.
From a small town down south, LSU was all we've ever known. And then deciding that I was going to vet school, LSU is the perfect place.
Many students already enjoy this university for their own reasons, and LSU is giving them all even more reasons.
And there are new dining options in the student union this year.
Tiger TV's Kennedy Walker joins us live in the studio with more on why dining officials think the change is so important for students.
Thanks, Raquel. If you're looking for something good to eat, you should definitely stop by the Student Union. This new renovation comes with many new options for students to choose from, and more changes are on the horizon.
The students coming to college these days, they eat very differently than students before. It's not these large institutional dining locations anymore.
This year, LSU Student Union welcomed 5 new dining options: Build Pizza, Create, Red Stick Eats, The Big Squeezy, and City Gelato. Margot Carroll, Assistant Vice President of Auxiliary Services at LSU, said that they had been working on this for the past few years.
They wanted to see fresh ingredients, something that's customizable, healthy was a big theme.
Each restaurant has a unique menu with many options to choose from, but one in particular is already getting rave reviews: the Big Squeezy's Achi Tiger Bowl. This includes achi, blueberries, bananas, strawberries, and sweet tart juice. Another fan favorite is Build in its wide variety of toppings. And if you were wondering about the Popeyes, Carol says that it was never an option.
I have no idea where that came from. We never talked about having a big chain in here.
But something that we can look forward to.
We are working with student government on a prayer meditation room, and that will probably come out next week, our announcement about that. And then we're also working on a lactation room.
Carol says that this renovation costs several $100,000, but it's a good deal considering the space that they're working with. Raquel, Trey?
Thank you, Kennedy. More information can be found at a.lsu.edu/LSU-dining.
And after the break, hear how one former LSU football player is still fighting like a tiger.
More than 100 million people worldwide have the sickle cell trait. One of those, former LSU football player Ryan Clark, who is doing his part in taking the disease. Tiger TV sports reporter Kayla Thomas has more.
Today, participants raced to help find a cure for sickle cell while benefiting the Baton Rouge Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation called Ryan's Run.
I've dealt with my sickle cell trait and had different things happen. I also lost my sister to sickle cell anemia at the age of 27. So for me, it's important to kind of build awareness, but also get around the people who suffer from this disease, the families who deal with it each and every day.
This year's ambassador was 5-year-old sickle cell survivor Chloe Cushenberry.
The biggest thing I think that could change with this disease is the treatment that we receive when we go to the hospitals from the doctors that lump us in with this opioid crisis that's going on. we getting the bad effects from that because we aren't able to get the medicines that we grew up getting because of people that's abusing the medicines that we need to live.
You know, with sickle cell, it's a very small population. From a medical standpoint, they look at the disease as being an orphan disease. But the devastation of sickle cell, it's probably 4 times that of so many other chronic illnesses.
I'm Kayla Thomas with Tiger TV Sports.
Ryan Clark said going forward he will continue his fight against sickle cell.
Well, that's all the time we have today, and the Tigers will play the first home game of the season this Saturday against the Chattanooga Mocs.
Thanks for joining us, Tigers. Have a great and safe weekend, and we will see you all next time.